My name is Jeremy Buzzell, and I am with the National Park Service. I am actually the coordinator for accessibility at the national office. So what we do is we provide technical assistance and training and policy interpretation to help our 400 plus National Park Service units become more accessible. I've been doing that for about 8 years, and I have actually had the pleasure of just happened to be at Mount Rainier when Ian was there. So we have had the chance to take a hike together at Mount Rainier. And I wanted to use that as an example of how we try to think about accessibility in national parks and access to the outdoors in the national parks. There probably was a group of close to 10 people in wheelchairs out at Mount Rainier. While we were on paved trails, we were not on what we would legally define as an accessible trail. As a federal agency, we have certain standards we have to meet in order to qualify a trail as an accessible trail. And what we're really trying to do is we're really trying to change the dialogue around that and say, every trail is accessible to someone. So it's not about saying, well, these trails are accessible and that means they're for these people and these trails are not accessible. It's really more about what can we do to provide people with disabilities the right information they need to make their own decisions about the trails that they use and the kinds of equipment that they're going to use on those trails, rather than us saying, these are accessible trails and these are not. What is the slope of the trail? What is the width of the trail? How long is the trail? So that a person can decide, oh, well, with this piece of equipment, I will have no problem navigating that trail. And that's really where we want to focus our effort. And folks like Ian help us do that, because the more people with disabilities we have coming to parks and demonstrating their ability to access our wonderful natural places, the more we're going to respond as an agency. And I think that we're right now in this moment where clearly the President Biden and his administration is focused on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. The Department of Interior has a strategic plan that specifically calls out the need to increase access to recreation for underserved communities. The Federal Interagency Committee on Outdoor Recreation has been resuscitated after many years of dormancy. So this is a perfect time to have events like this, to have these conversations, to have Ian setting an example for others, to encourage people to get out there. Because I think we fight both not just a physical barrier, but an attitudinal barrier. The attitudinal barrier being people being made to feel like they don't belong, as well as people believing they don't belong. And something's got to give there. So I think, Ian, you're proving that you belong. That you belong on the trails just like everyone else does, and you deserve the benefits that everyone else deserves. And I think with events like this, and with you coming out to Olympic and to Mount Rainier, that's a conversation we can have on a daily basis with Park Service staff, and maybe that gets us to a place where not only that, but we have more people working for the Park Service who have disabilities. So Ian, you can see people who look like you working at our visitor centers and out in the backcountry. So I wish you the best on this journey, and I hope you get some great chili when you're in Ohio.